All right, we are here. We're doing it. And yep, let me just make sure I'm visible. Yeah, I know there's a little, we have people in person, we have people on Zoom, we have tables that could be moved. All right, we are going to beat our chests like Tarzan. So we're going to start with
Wait,
some,
before we start,
right?
Mary, it sounds like you're still not muted and your conversation is out. Thanks.
To wear my sunglasses. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let's start with a little self massage on the sternum, where the thymus gland, under which the thymus gland resides. The thymus gland is one of the major kind of immune related glands that T cells are where T cells are produced or encouraged to proliferate, something like that. I like your voice when you're doing that. I am vibrating. And then go to the lung area, the kind of meaty part of the chest below the collarbone. There are some specific points, but it's less important, I think, the specific area, the more that you're just kind of feeling the vibration and that you're really with some vigor, picking tissues up and then change sides. Sometimes the coughing thing happens. I'm about to little expulsion. Bring some breath into it, into the nose, into the belly. And then let's just take a moment and just feel kind of afterglow, energetic afterglow of that. So fuzzy, tingling, expansiveness, that's our chi. And then let's do some light around the abdomen. So down the left side, up the right side, across and across. Maybe not as vigorous in terms of impact, but just this area that has our internal organs within it. So many of them doing so many good things for us. Liver, all the intestines, the spleen. Yes, and I see Kristen's using her palms. You can use whatever massage tool makes sense for you, but fists are a good one. And then right below the belly button, either stacked fists or side to side for our sea of chi, this kind of reservoir of energy, this vortex place, also known as the elixir field. And then kidney, low back, it also pat from like kind of below the ribs all the way down to tailbone level, side of the spine. With or rubbing is good, rubbing, patting, or knocking. Friction rubbing is nice, kind of warming things up. And let's do liver pat down. So from the armpit down on the front side of your side seam, if you were sewn together, you had a side seam. Just and one direction. So armpit to hip and back up again. And this is going the opposite direction of the meridian. The liver meridian runs, but just kind of quell some of the active, young energy there. One more, I'm gonna put it the other side. Change sides, you're getting the liver pat down one direction. Nice one to kind of do with some bigger. These are called activations. They're activating energy, and sometimes we're activating specific points, pressure points or acupressure on the channels. And then finally, we're just focusing on the upper body right this moment. The place where the legs and the torso come together, these leg gates. And so knocking with some vigor there, and then bending and straightening. so many lymph nodes live in this area, and that we sit, we get stagnant. So this is a great way to kind of enliven the energy and let it flow. A good place to pay attention to self-massage. All right. Take a moment just to feel like the subtle body after effects, all of that. And then let's bring our hands over the lower abdomen for abdominal breathing. In and out through the nose. And it's an allowing breath. It's smooth and it's full. It's low and deep. And then you let the hands kind of signal the movement, the expansion. The lower belly expands on the inhale. Flows towards the spine on the exhale. Let it and allow it. We want it to be full, but we don't want to try to make it full because it tends to contract and constrict when we try. Whale. Baby quail. Oh, baby quail in the house. And even just body awareness, you see, is there like chest and shoulders trying to get involved? See if you can really allow the movement to go lower. Good job, everyone. All right, so let's wake up the spine in the 6 directions the spine moves. Let's start with spinal cord breathing, which is like a cat-cow, but standing. So we bend the knees, the fists are loose. And as we inhale, we open up the whole front of the spine. You can look up with the head, little tailbone, ducktail. Exhale, tuck chin, tuck the tailbone, all the vertebrae in between. And the arms and hands are doing just an extra little movement to open up the chest. Open up your back. Coordinating breath and movement. And of course, information highway. Was there a question? It's hard to hear. Question? Hey, Julie. I'm going to go to the side just in case that's helpful.
Is all the breathing in through the
In and out
in
through
and
the
out.
nose. Yes, that's our default.
Your butt's sticking out both ways.
It's sticking on the inhale, it's a little ducktail. On the exhale, I'm tucking like from the sacrum under. And that's where the knees being bent makes a difference because you can really kind of move the joints of the spine. But not, and not the hip joints. You're not doing that, like moving the opening the hip flexors. And then let's, after the next exhale, spiral open to one side on the inhale, twist and extend. Exhale to the center. And if this is your first kind of wave of movement in the morning, take it easy. It's easy to kind of overdo some of this stuff if we're tight, go stiff in the morning. We're alternating inhale. To one side, exhale, center. And the arms are doing some extra opening of the upper structures around the lungs, upper part of the lungs. Armpits. How about one more on each side? All right, yay. That's good. And just a little side to side with it. I'm just literally moving side to side, weight shift, letting the spine kind of wave laterally, side to side. That's the other 2 of the 6 directions. So the head can kind of wag. It's called dog wags its tail. And you could potentially feel even like the lower part of your spine, the tailbone move, or just be soft, you know, and wiggle a little bit. And then if you want to change the tempo or make your feet a little wider, or just make it a little more dramatic, whatever, just puppy or low or down, wavier. Good. All right. And then twisting each direction is another of the 2 directions, spine over. So let's just do our knocking on the door of life. So we're moving for the hips and the center. Our feet are mostly planted. If you have knees that don't like the twist, then you can lift a heel, but we're not necessarily shifting the weight. We're turning, we're a little bit kind of moving, a little bounce from the knees, and then we're letting the spine twist up into the head. And then the arms swing momentum from this movement, and they knock with some vigor around the belt. Breath is deep and full into the belly, to the nose. And your head and neck involved really to benefit for the neck, to create some opportunity for range of motion. That keeps it just happening, intonation. Or wherever our little spots are that are extra tight, ribs, thoracic area. So we're also activating, we're spinal enlivening, breathing. And then we'll come up to the chest with the front fist. And knock again right below the collarbone. That's our quails.
So the littlest thing.
For Scrabble, quail and chi are good words.
Indeed.
You know, for that cue.
Yeah.
We're going to focus a little bit on the liver meridian today. So, and also the wood element. So we're going to do one more area to knock as we twist, which is the gallbladder channel, which is upper trapezius up here with a cupped hand. Knocking out tightness and tension. Woo! And opening the channel that goes up into the head for clearer thinking, decision making.
Gallbladder runs along the side of your neck? Or?
Yeah. Yeah, somewhere in there, up here too, like trapezius, and it runs up into the head. Liver does too. They both do. They're long channels from the foot to the head. I think there's the longest. I mean, of the ordinary meridians. Come back to the chest for a few knocks. Get that twist. Your head and neck. Back to the belt. Channel. Horizontal channel. And just slow down into stillness. Close the eyes. Feel your energy. Excellent. All right, let's purge. We haven't done any purges. We are going to scatter some chi, which is also just a nice way to warm up the work. Keep my wrists warm. So we are going to start with the hands, the arms parallel to the earth, and slow motion. Bend the knees, turn from, let's say, your left hip, the left arm goes, you're mirroring me. Then the hips come back to neutral, they fly up. And the knees, they slow down. And this movement of the lower body is the momentum, and then you're letting the arms swing, and you're exhaling through the mouth. Great. Good way to also just let some tension go in the neck, shoulders. One arm's in front, arm behind. All purpose is making space for this chi that we're cultivating in our practice. 3 months. And pull down some heaven. Just kind of nature of pouring a vacuum, fill that space up right away. One more time. Also, if there's any lightheadedness, just ground. Excellent. All right, let's do some warm-ups of this middle and lower zone. So start with some gentle hip circles with soft knees. Keep going that same direction. Adjustment. Ask my camera. Still going in that same direction. Go the other direction. These are soft in this version. Super bent. Spring. Nice. And then maybe a little bit like hip crease, little mini squat, and then push the hip flexors. And it could be a smaller movement, but just like opening up. That is where then more the legs meet the pelvis. Excellent. And then let's open up the joint where the hip joint, which is where the leg does kind of intersect the pelvis and torso. And you could use something to hang on to. If you want to challenge your balance, then we can kind of use the help of these 2 invisible tigers on each side of us or the leg. So it looks a little like this, what we're doing, hip kicks. Wow. And it's swinging. And so the idea is to move from here and let the leg kind of be guided. So I'm not using a lot of muscle in that joint. And so if it does help to hang on to something so that you can get that swing, kind of going, crossing the midline, I'm kind of pushing my hip forward and pushing it back.
Well, Tin Man. Tin Man.
So see, for you, Denise, see if you can, Denise, but
Well, it's okay. The other names, they all work.
but see if, yeah, I would, yep, even if it's smaller.
Better to hold on.
Don't do them to your to lift your knee up with muscle is not the point. It really is not. It's more the silk-rolling exercises are a lot about not having the muscle of the joint that's being opened engaged. Let the movement.
Feel free to give
So kind of.
This is my weak, one of my weak areas.
Change legs. I would do the outside leg.
Do
the
this
leg, the foot. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And just even just side to side like this. This is fair game. Just swing. You're working too hard.
What's new?
So, and then if you're doing the full, it's like crossing the midline with the instep of the foot and then pull this back and let the knee just kind of, the shape as the knee goes up, we're not muscling it. And then we'll try the other side and then we'll alternate if that works. So
She's fun.
And right, I say this a lot, but anytime there's like awkwardness, we're feeling incompetent, that uncomfortableness is new neural networks being made. And so lean into the discomfort.
Wow.
lean
A lot of
into
fucking nerve.
lean- So across the midline, pull this back. We're having fun on the deck. Looks like we're at ballet class.
Just like that.
And then we're gonna alternate sides. Yeah, we're so grateful. So alternating side to side looks kind of like this. Sorry, not like that. As I say, plant. Aha. I'm having a challenge, guys.
Tell me if I'm working too hard.
A little bit, but that's okay.
I don't want to work too hard at not working too hard.
So this must move the head of the femur in the joint, right?
Exactly,
Like it moves around.
exactly. It's that
Good for
that is
Yeah.
technically the joint, right? Like doing
Mhm.
this is getting the connective tissue all around that, and
that
but
mulch-
that
Oh,
is
that's
the
good stuff.
lubrication. That's why it's called silk reeling. You're really lubricating.
What's it
This
called?
Silk reeling is like when we open the joints. This way. Another version, like especially if you have a like, let's say I was on a stair
Mhm.
and there was no, a little space here.
Mhm.
Just doing this
Yeah.
would be a similar thing. It would just be bi-directional
Mhm.
instead of circular, but that has a similar principle. Or like if you've been in like hot water in the hot tub or something, you could do some kind of swirly thing. So anyway, and let's do one more for the lower legs, which is another balance one. Rooster stands on one foot, so if you can not hang onto the wall, great. Otherwise, do what you need to. We're gonna shift the weight, one foot, the other foot and arm come up, kind of a right angle. We're gonna place the toe, the heel, around the head of a tiger. Inhale. Exhale. Follow the foot. Lower is more challenging. And we're building some balance, strength in that standing leg. Gaze point helps. Rooster stands on one foot. And
I
for
don't think I
example,
could do this without the arm, but the arm really helps.
arm really helps. And then if you like to do just ankle rolls and challenge your balance, you could stay on that one foot and scroll your foot. Go the other direction. The gaze point helps, tigers help. And then we'll place it down and go to the other side. Swirl. All the joints are great places to keep fluid and opening for so many reasons, but the meridians, they're tighter, smaller spaces. The meridians flow through there, lymph flows through there. To keep them open is to keep the energy flowing. All right, good job, y'all. Yay!
Went into
So-
stretch.
We're gonna just do some arm spirals with the hip circles that we were doing. So mirror me, this is gonna be a fun brain teaser potentially. So I'm a little teapot kind of stance. So
Short
you're
and
mirroring
fat.
me, your left hand is out and your palm is gonna try to stay face up the whole time. So my circles are, you're gonna opt the opposite me. So do some clockwise circles. Clockwise circles in your hips, knees are soft, and then engage the arm. Palm faces up the whole time like you're carrying a cup of tea. So there's some twisting and bringing out that happens because of that.
It's not scalding.
And you might spill some tea, it's okay. There's also really opens up the wrist, elbow, and the shoulder. And you can make it a smaller movement. It could be, if you have range of motion limitations. If you're doing full body, you could inhale up, exhale down. And once you've got that general shape, you could also really focus on letting the movement rise from the center and the arm kind of following. Less muscular, more like a lasso. I went to a rodeo with my mom in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Frontier days.
Oh, no, we're
Time
not
ago.
in Brooklyn anymore.
Yes, but I got to see Dolly Parton. Feel that opening armpit. Breast, elbow. Joints are ruled by the wood element indirectly, and we're working on the wood element. So then let's trade arms. And now your circles are going to be counterclockwise. All sides are not created equal. Side to side, we might feel different things.
I know, I can't get the right.
I know.
That's okay.
Like rubbing the belly and patting the
I'm going
head.
to turn this way in case that's helpful. Kristen.
If you had to do this to
Conscious
save
and
somebody from death,
Conscience and confidence. Yeah. All right. Very good. We'll work on that. We'll work on that again. We'll keep coming back.
That's the one Lizelle was doing, right? And maybe.
Indeed. That's right. That's right. All right. Let's do our final purge, which is our shaking. And we're going to use the movement of the body to like shake our tissues up. The breath is an exhale, but we're going to add a healing sound, two healing sounds. Shh, SH, shh, which is paired with the exhale for liver detox and liver purging, and for the heart, HA. But the breath and the sound are kind of one. So the shaking looks kind of like this. We're bouncing, making the knees are bending and somewhat straightening. My wrists are moving because of the momentum. My occiput is moving momentum. Inhale to the belly. After priest, this is the ha sound for the heart. But the occiput is soft. Stillness, close the eyes, feel the after effects of that. So the invitation is to let that swirl, that energy that is more alive now or flowing than it was, to kind of be the engine of our movement and the breath, like, so it's effortless and not based so much on muscular movement. The muscles are kind of supporting chi. So we're going to tonify the liver and kind of strengthen all things wood element. The wood element also rules the paired organ of the gallbladder, the nervous system, the joints because of the tendons and ligament connection, and joints.
And adrenals too, or no?
No, that's kidney. No. So our most default stance for flows are feet shoulder distance apart, feet facing forward, knees soft. And you could even if we weren't doing something that was tree related, which is the wood element is like living plants, trees. They're flexible, they're rooted, they're strong, yet yielding. So we're going to become that by building off our base, connecting, setting kind of a connection down to the earth, soft knees, but rooting to rise, aligning kind of the upper body over the lower body so that standing up straight is not so like tight and muscular, but just more ergonomic with gravity. Feel your crown maybe rising up towards the sky, but you're not stiff. In fact, your shoulders are relaxed. And then we're gonna do this flow called Tree Sways in the Wind. And watch me, and I'll just do it on each side once, and then I'll break it down. So that's one full revolution, side to side. The liver is on the right side of our bodies under the ribs, but the liver meridian runs from the big toe up, up, up. Remember, we did the liver pat down. So up here, and then somewhere up here, and then it goes up into the head, all the way up, and it rules the eye and vision also. So we're kind of encouraging the energy flow up the meridian as we do this movement. So we're going to have a soft knees, and we're just going to turn. You turn right, I'll turn left, if that works for where you are in relationship to me. The arms are in this kind of rounded oval shape, and then they float up. Wrists are soft, so the hands drape. And ultimately, your fingers are pointing at the crown if you have that range of motion. And then turn back to center, and then palms kind of face out, and you grow your branches, you could say, or whatnot, and you come back to this oval shape, turn to the other side, and float up, fingers drape all the way to the top, and then here. That's our exhale through the nose. And this one is supported by a rectangular breath, meaning holding the breath in and out at the top and the bottom of the breath. So we just exhale, you can hold the breath out, and then inhale here. So one inhale, one stroke of movement. Hold the breath in, one exhale, one movement all the way to the bottom. Hold the breath out, if that works. Inhale.
Mhm.
And if that doesn't work for you, just learn the movement, and then I'll tell you what the option is in a minute. And so my knees are a variety of up and down, like a little bit straighter as the energy rises, and then maybe a little bent as you return back down to earth. So that shape is kind of, the hands are heavy and the arms just float up. That chi helps the movement in the arms up, and that chi field all around you buoys the arms as they float down. Yep. That in this rounded kind of oval shape is really kind of we return to again and again. Qigong. You can let the tip of the tongue rest on the roof of the mouth. And let your shoulders be soft and relaxed. Like even though the arms are floating up, see if you can just keep them soft and low. Don't work so hard, everyone. Effortless power.
Effortless power.
Effortless power.
As my Italian yoga teacher would say, Stephen, relax your face.
And Stephen, now relax your face. We have tiaras on. So for those of you new, I just want to really encourage like the pace of the movement and the pace of the breath synchronize. So be here when you're ready to start your inhale, and the whole length of the inhale is this upward movement, timing it so that this is the top of your inhale, and then this is the full exhale, because that synchronization of breath and movement is part of what supports us moving into that parasympathetic state of rest and digest. And the breath kind of deep and full and relaxed also signals to the body that we're safe. And so if for some reason the rectangular breath doesn't work, I just want to show you your option here. Inhale, 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 while you're still inhaling, turning back to center. Exhale, 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 and then start your turn. And so you're here at the inhale. So that's just an option. If being rectangular and your breath is constricted, don't do it. And your arms are not necessarily out here. They're kind of, not at 180, but maybe like I don't know, whatever that is, 150 degrees as your arms come down. You're like, here, come there.
Come in.
Yeah. Don't look so hard. I don't want to call you so hard. So you can rest the tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Taller as your arms rise. We're encouraging the flow of the energy through the liver meridians. This movement from the big toe, up the leg, up the torso, all the way up into the head. I haven't talked about the energy of the wood element in the liver. When we are purging, it kind of supports letting go with the breath, the healing sound. We're encouraging a let go of the energies of like anger and frustration. And when we're tonifying, we're cultivating kindness, creativity, vision. And then just by virtue of what the wood element is and what it represents, also that kind of flexibility, resilience. Let's do 3 on each side more. Like that, we'll just come to a neutral stance with the palms facing each other in the belly. Stay here while everyone gets there. Just their rounds. Feel electromagnetic aliveness between the hands. Gonna let that energy kind of expand into more of that oval shape. Shift the weight a little bit towards the heels and reestablish your stance, kind of your feet forward, your knees soft. And kind of rooting to rise, but more towards like the heels. Let the arms rise up effortlessly. Maybe your hands are at shoulder width or a little narrower, and there's this nice oval shape. We're going to do a standing posture for a few breaths, not typical 45 minutes that people are made to do this, but it's fine in this lineage. We want you to come back. So yeah, rooting to rise, the crown rises, the arms are effortlessly just buoyant. You could imagine like a body of water helping your arms float. There's a little spiral in the arms, like the fractal branches of an oak tree. And you're breathing in and out through the nose, and you can visualize bright green or spring green light on the right side, on your ribs where the liver lives. Tonifying with the stance, tonifying with healing color. More breath. Light. We're going to transition from this posture. So we're going to lower the left hand. And your hand can stay, Kiara's teacher's lineage, more like this, or mine is more the fingers kind of draped down. Both work. And you might even widen your stance a little bit. And we're going to turn from the hips. The arms are going to stay in the same relationship. We're doing cloudy hands. We're going to turn from the hips, trade which hands on top, shift the weight to the opposite leg, and keep the spine vertical and turn from the hips. And then trade hands. The palm of the upper hand kind of at heart level, shift the weight, and then turn from the hips. Yes, I see. And change hands, shift the weight. Lower your arm a little bit, Stephen. Don't work so hard. You can see the movement. Looks like our arms are doing all this movement, but it's our lower body. So cloudy hands is tonifying flow for the organ of the heart, paired with the small intestine. Connected to our cardiovascular system. Our tongue is a sense organ, like the liver, the sense organ is the eyes. But it's less about taste than it is about our speech and connecting our heart with our speech. There's a shift of weight and a turn from the hips, and my spine stays vertical. You have the mobility of the knees and the ability. That movement and the traveling happy as travel happens with tapping the leg and that shape, that oval shape is still happening in the arms. It's kind of nice. So if your elbow is too bent, come out. It's great. You know, just a nice happy medium. And the energies of the fire element range from hatred, the most extreme, to hastiness. A lot of us can relate to, and then all the way to love and compassion, the highest form of love. But I also want to just notate, like when we think of hastiness, what I would say the opposite of hastiness is that spaciousness. So this is called cloudy hand. You like imagine the clouds are just floating by. You've got nothing else to do but lie on the grass and watch the clouds. That kind of like spaciousness. Sometimes the winds pick up and you could go faster. But I didn't say the breath is natural here. So it doesn't have synchronized one direction as inhale, vice versa. It can be full and deep in and out through the nose. So if you speed up, let the fingers of that upper hand kind of be a little comb and just smooth out the space in front of your heart as the winds pick up. The form might be a little looser because of the speed. That's okay. And slow it down to even slower pace than we were before. Again, natural breath. So your breath is full and deep and expansive, but it can be at the right pace for you, but the movement is slower. And the eyes just kind of tap in to the energy. All of us, whatever we launch into our day after this, let this be that, even just that quantum moment of spaciousness, nowhere else to be, nothing else to do. More floating cloud movements. This power. back to build our standing posture. And readjusting the feet to kind of thrown out, come back. Come to that oval position of the arms. And I like to kind of bring them up again. And then we're going to bring our arms kind of parallel. And then forearms vertical. And now my palms are face up. My thumbs are kind of pointing towards my eyeballs at eyeball level. And relaxing the shoulders, shifting the weight to the heels, and then let the energy come down from the heavens through the hands into the arms to the heart. This is holding the golden urn to the upper position. Breath in and out through the nose. And if you like healing color red, like a crimson red light in the heart, left side of the chest. Flowing vitality. Now, let's put this. Very good. We'll lower the hands back to our like holding a chi ball posture, just playing and see if there's been any changes, a bit more palpable. Breath might kind of inform expansion and kind of contraction of that ball of energy. Let's do just a very easy flow with the feet still facing forward, maybe a shoulder distance apart. We're going to, the lower legs are doing this. We're shifting the weight kind of from the heels to the balls of the feet. And the knees are soft. The arms, as we, so this is seaweed in the ocean. So as you shift to the heels, the arms just float. They don't have to go too far. As you shift towards the balls of the feet, so the wrists are soft, the fingers are soft, the arms are kind of fluid. Inhaling. Seaweed would be a wood element, really, kind of plant too, right? They grow in the ocean, but they're rooted. Float towards the sunlight. Very, very kind of resilient, flexible. Movement, breath. That weight shift might create a little undulation in the spine. Let even the undulation move the head a little bit, so sinking the chest and then open. I mean, just some stillness, taking a moment, just bring your energy kind of internal, just noticing what's invisible, but that you can sense through observation, just the subtle sensation. And even just kind of scanning your energy body from the toes to the head. In the front today, so maybe that's more alive than what's going on in the back. Then our next step is to store the energy we just tonified and cultivated, so that you just like, let's say we tonified the liver and kind of supported the liver, but then there's excess energy, and we want to just really be intentional that that energy can be used for healing in our bodies and just to support us through the day with our energy level. So we do storage. There's many ways to store. So why don't we just do a simple pulling down the heavens, which is just a lovely way to direct the energy. We'll do 3 that are more like just really connecting to the heavens and bringing that beautiful energy into your field. So that'll bring more energy in. And then 3 that are focused on directing the energy to the lower dantian below the belly button there, where we store the energy. Yeah, so we inhale. And we exhale. So we're bringing in heavenly energy, the energy from above. Arms float up effortlessly, float down easily. 3 to bring the energy in, and then 3 to direct the energy to the belly center. It looks the same from the outside. Intention. We return to the hands over the lower abdomen position, this time with our feet and knees together. Bamboo in the wind. Bamboo is another wood friend, wood element being that's super flexible and is always growing and multiplying. So we're just going to first let this be an integration into our nervous system, like a standing shavasana. You can let the knees, the bones kind of hold you up and soften the connective tissue of the legs. Bringing the energies of this practice into your whole system, your nervous system. This is kind of also dedicated to this time of year, which is kind of in between spring and summer by some systems. So the wood element rules spring and the fire element rules summer. Not separate from nature, we are nature. This kind of dance to integrate into our nervous system. I also like to think of it like now we can broadcast the vibration that we've cultivated to share with the field that all of life, everyone emerges from, kind of upregulate some peace, some coherence, some joy or gratitude, whatever that kind of harvest has been for you. Share a little of it. Community, we're connected under the ground. We're all connected like a bamboo stand. You put the breath into the belly as we open our eyes and maybe make a circle around the navel. That was a kind of wonderful and fairly typical art of a practice with breath and opening and activations and purging and then tonifying and flows and storage and integration. So thank you all so much, and wonderful to have you all. I'm going to end this recording.
Oh, that was lovely.